Molly. I am a volunteer member of Weston County Sheriff Search and Rescue, which is in Weston County, Wyoming. And today I am going over the my modified 24-hour pack that I have on the ready in case I get called on a search. And I can also use it for hiking and outdoor winter activities. So first I have my pack that I use. It is a 30-liter. It's actually a Mountain Hardwear pack. I've had it for about 8 years. I absolutely love it. It has served all of its needed purposes. So in that 30-liter, it gives me ample space to pack extra layers, pack a little bit of extra things for the winter season. First and foremost, you always want to pack your water. So this is my 2-liter bladder that I have. This is a minimum of the amount of water that you want to have with you, especially if it's a 24-hour activity. You never know when you could be out longer, and so you always want to anticipate needing more water. So that's first to go into the pack. Then I like to take a set of base layers and extra layers because I could be getting stuck outside. So I actually have an extra puffy layer for insulation. It is down-filled, so that is good to stay warm. And then I actually have a shell jacket that I use to keep out wind, to keep out water, and to add an extra outside layer of insulation. And then in my pack, I have a bunch of extras. So I have extra gloves, an extra hat. Should I fall in a, break through the ice and fall in a river, you want to make sure you have an extra layer of all the dry stuff. I do have, this is actually my cycle jacket. Back in my cycle days, it is great for an extra layer of protection, but also if you do get lost somewhere, it is extremely bright. So it's easy to find, or you're easy to be found if you have something that bright. And then I have all of my base layers. So I have my extra shirt, which is actually a hybrid of wool and wicking material to both help keep me dry and warm at the same time. And then last but not least, I have my extra base layer pants and then my extra wool socks. So I can at least change out and stay dry on my base layer should I find myself in a situation where I have gotten wet. Second, I have in my pack are my essentials. First and foremost, you always want to have a map and a compass of everywhere that you are going to be traveling, or where you live for search and rescue. Here being in the Black Hills, I've actually got the Black Hills Forest Service map for the areas that I spend the most time in. So I have, a good record of where I am at all times. I always have some sort of fire starter to make sure that should I actually ever need to stay overnight somewhere, I actually am able to slightly build a fire and keep myself warm that way. So I do have extra papers, which if I don't use them, it's a map as well. I have 3 forms of starting a fire. I have waterproof matches. I actually have a lighter that I keep inside the bag. And then I have a modified flintstone. And in this blue container, I actually have diesel-soaked wood chips, just to help actually keep that fire going once it does get started. And then, let's see, I've got my medical, tiny first aid kit, just to take care of the basic necessities. I have a survival blanket, so if I do have to, end up somewhere outside, I'm not without some sort of shelter or some sort of actual extra insulation to help stay warm. And then this one is just for I always have, they call them toilets to go, just because we like to keep it clean out there. And then being on search and rescue, I always actually have my handheld radio in 2 pieces so I don't break the antenna, so that I can still use it if I need to. So if I should get myself somewhere and I am actually able to, get a radio message out, that is why I have this. And then for being on search and rescue, this is also how we talk to each other if we are out on a search. And then I actually have my headlamp in here. I usually carry 2 headlamps because you never know when the first one might run out of battery. So either have backup batteries or a backup headlamp. So this is just the first one that goes in my absolute essentials. I always have paper to take notes on or to leave notes on in case. And so this one is actually called Right in the Rain. It is waterproof, as well as everything being in a waterproof dry sack. So those are kind of my survival essentials in case I do find myself outside overnight in a situation. Then I have, this is kind of the backup bag. There are a lot of things that I carry in here. I actually have a backup lighter, chapstick. You never know when you're gonna need chapstick. I also have lanyard of varying lengths and varying sizes. I actually have patch stickers in case gear breaks down. And then this is where I do have sunscreen to keep as well. And then there's actually an extra flashlight in here on top of the headlamps. So these are kind of the go above and beyonds. They're not necessities, but they are nice to have in situations or extreme situations. And then this one is where all of your food, pack is where all of my food goes. So I always have a variety of different kinds of foods, sesame, seeds. I actually also have my life water in case I do run out of water. If I can find a water source, I'm able to drink and know that I potentially am not going to be getting sick. Trail mix, which is one of the best things. It's good for protein. It's good for that sugars, helps keep you going. So I try to carry ample supply of trail mix just because you don't know how long you're going to be out and how much food you might need. And then having competed before in triathlons and marathons, I actually also usually carry a package of electrolyte gummies, just because you don't know if you're going to be exerting a lot of energy while you're out there in these survival situations or on a hike or whatnot. And then my absolute last little dry bag, these are the kind of extras, binoculars. They're nice to have, but they're definitely not needed. So these are kind of, if I feel like carrying this extra pouch, I can, otherwise I can leave it at home. Same with the blue pouch from earlier. This one in the winter time, it's not needed too much, but I actually have 2 different forms of bug spray or bug lotion, just because bugs can be extremely pesky. And then I have more lanyard of varying lengths and varying sizes, in case you have to find something and tie down a shelter. And then this is actually where my second headlamp is. And I think I have another flashlight in here as well. So that's mostly everything that I carry in my pack throughout a winter season or for a 24-hour ready. And then there's also the extras. If you're going to be out in the winter time, I do actually have micro spikes. You never know what kind of footing you're going to run into. Sometimes it's bare ground, sometimes there is actually ice, and so it's always nice to have a little bit of extra traction if you find yourself in a situation where it's icy or slippery conditions. And then kind of, if you want to add on to it for the winter time, whatever you guys see fit. But this is what I like to have in my pack, and this is just a basic every time I go out. I would like to have it and not need it, then need it and not have it. I am Allie. I am an active volunteer member of Weston County Sheriff's Search and Rescue in Weston County, Wyoming, on the western edge of the Black Hills. And you can find information about us on Facebook on the Weston County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Facebook page.